Um, I didn't know. I didn't know Scooter. Um, I know of Scooter from the music industry. Doing music. His music did with Future, few more other artists. Pretty solid artists, as far as I'm concerned. Um, I don't know dude as a person, but rest in peace to the guy, man. It seems like he died from like as far as what they saying on the news and all the different media platforms. It basically seemed like he died from a freak accident. Um, that was caused by somebody uh, doing a swatting call. Swatting is where, to all the people that don't know, swatting is you where somebody gets your address, somebody that's on your live or whatever, or whatever, or maybe not. Maybe they just know where you stay. They get your address and then they report some type of event, you know, going on at your house that requires like an instant response. Like somebody's kidnapped, somebody's being raped, somebody's this, somebody's that, somebody's being violated in some format to where the police are gonna show up kind of heavy. You know what I'm saying? So that's what these people are doing. They do this a lot. This happens a lot. I've heard of other situations. This ain't the first situation where somebody has gotten killed like that. To me, it's almost like a hit, because if you word the situation just right, let's say you call them and you say, this person has heavy artillery. They just murdered. They just unalived 3-4 other people in the house. Um, they said that they not going back to jail. The police gonna have to knock on. If the police want them, they got to knock them on. And somebody call the police and tell them all this stuff. So then the police show up and they already charged with the information of, whatever this person told them. So I could see how that could go bad, and it wouldn't even necessarily be the police's fault, because that's what they're supposed to be doing, is showing up for emergencies or whatever. So if somebody call them and say somebody have an emergency, then they supposed to show up, and how they show up is gonna how the information that was passed to them is gonna dictate how they show up. That's just common sense. So it's not necessarily. This is one of the one times I can say it's not really the police's fault if they show up and accidentally smoke somebody or something. Not saying this should happen. I'm just saying I could see how that could go bad. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure. This is just the information I've heard online or whatever, that's what happened. So I don't know if that's what happened for real or not. But if that is what happened, that's fucked up. Y'all done called this goddamn police station and got this man killed. That's too far. And even if it was his fault for running and jumping the fence or whatever he did that caused the injury or whatever, still the initial the person that had him doing all that was the person that did the swatting call. So let me tell it, I think they should be criminally responsible. Whoever made that call and sent them police over there like that for nothing, they should be criminally responsible. They should be responsible for that, because that man would still be alive hadn't they had done that. You see what I'm saying? The police ain't responsible. This is the one time I'm actually on the police side this one time. You know what I'm saying? The police actually didn't do nothing wrong in this situation. They actually did what they was supposed to do. The person who called is the evil. If you want to find evil in this scenario, the person that called the police is the person that's evil. And right now, they probably can't even sleep. They knowing they wasn't planning on whoever did that. I don't think they was planning on it to go that far as far as dude to die and all that. I think whoever did that, it was more on some funny, trying to be funny. Like even if it was a woman that did it, I don't think she meant for for dude to end up unalived. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she did, but I'm just saying, like, me being a human and knowing how humans kind of think, I don't know how women think, so I guess maybe she could be on that. But I don't know. I just feel like maybe it was more of a practical joke type situation, and ended up bad. You know what I'm saying? Like some of these pranks and all that. I be watching the prank channels and all that. Some of them pranks end up bad. I thought about doing that. That was what I was gonna do with my channel at one point in time. Me and my sons, we was gonna start going to Walmart and pranking folks. But then I thought about it. I was like, nah, cause we do something crazy or something, and something go down and shit. I got my babies with me and all that. Hell nah. We don't want to piss nobody off. Do some prank, we piss somebody off or something. And even if we had to end up whooping their ass, whatever, I don't want to do none of that. I don't want to have to get nothing done to me. I don't want to have to do nothing to nobody on either side. So that's why I didn't do the pranks, because I don't want to upset nobody, and I don't want to have to do nothing to nobody, and I don't want nobody to have to do nothing to me. Either way, behind me being goofy and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I was like, nah, we ain't doing the pranks and shit. But I think maybe that's probably what this was. It was either like a mad one of the females he was dealing with was mad at him or something, cause she wasn't invited to his birthday or whatever. Or so, maybe it was some shit like that, or it might have been somebody just doing a prank and got that man unalive. That's fucked up. That's actually kind of fucked up. You call them people trying to be goofy and shit, laughing and shit. Probably was laughing when you did it. This gonna be funny. Call the police and send them over there. Y'all laughing, y'all some goofies. Send the police over there, and now this man unalive and shit. And then he running. I don't know what he's running for. What the hell he doing? What you doing? You got all this money and all that. I know you got money, you fucking Scooter. We've been hearing about you having money since way back in the game. So even if you was stunting at one point, by now, you actually got the money by now. Maybe back in the day, maybe you was stunting. By now, though, you got some type of bag or something. You done been on too many songs, too much shit going on by now. So we know that you got a bag in some sort of way. What you got going on to where you need to be running from the police, Scooter? To all the young Scooters out there, I'm not talking to Scooter figuratively, literally right now. I would think that's obvious. I'm talking figuratively to all the young Scooters out there that got a bag that's still a run from the police. What are you doing? You got a bag. If you got a bag, what are you doing to have to run? Unless you got your bag illegally. But I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking to the young Scooters. Young Scooter didn't get his bag illegally. He got his bag legally. So I'm talking to the young Scooters out there, the ones who got the bag. They got the bag. They came from the street shit, so they a little street. They be in the hood and all. They still think they street. Got the bag. What are you running from the police for? Like, what are you, like, I wouldn't be, like, if I had the bag, whenever I have the bag, I'm not doing nothing. If I got a legal bag that's worthy, a worthy legal bag, worthy, when I say worthy, I mean, like, it'll pay my bills. I ain't gotta be out here doing no wild shit. It'll take care of my kids. It'll buy them the stuff they want. You know, it'll pay all my notes and my insurances and my this, that, and the thirds. That's what I mean by a valid bag. If I got a valid bag, you know what I'm saying? What am I doing to where I need to run from the police? At worst case scenario, I might be smoking some herbs. Worst case scenario, I might be smoking some herbs. Do I need to run from the police if I'm smoking some herbs? No. Because, for one, if they catch me with it, depending on where I'm at, what city, what state, where I'm at, it might either be legal or it might not even be enough for them to even be tripping. And they probably just make me put it out, throw it away or something. If he had a bunch of weed in the house, maybe that was it. He had a bunch of weed in the house. But no, they said they didn't say they found a bunch of drugs. They would have said that. On the news, they would have said, because the law is like reporting shit like that. They would have said that. Oh yeah, we went in the house, we found 200 pounds of weed. You know what I'm saying? It was 200 pounds of weed, 2,000 X pills. They like putting that out there because they like saying we made a big bust. So if they would have found some shit, they would have said it. So apparently they didn't find no drugs or nothing in the house. So what was he running? If I got the bag, that's the part I can't understand. If I got the bag, I'm not running. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I'm here, Mr. Officer. What you want? When you come, I would have said that through the door. I wouldn't even open the door for them. That's where he fucked up at. You never open the door for the police. When they knock, unless you called them. Only way you open the door for the police if you called them. And even then, even if you called them, even if you called them, still put them through a bunch of questions and shit before you open the door. You still put a delay on it. You still don't just pop the door open. You still put a delay. It's still like a delay between you and talking to the police when they come to your abode. You still gonna not open it. You ain't gonna open on the first knock. You gonna say, who was that? What are you here for? You might have been the one called them and everything. You still gonna check them a little bit at the door. That's your last leg of defense. Your door is your last leg of defense with the police. That's all you got between you and them is the door. You know, so you don't just open the door for the police. You figure out what they there for. You ask the questions and the third, and if you feel like it's comfortable for you to open the door, then you open the door. You don't just go to the door, open the door, knowing you been there smoking weed, all this type of shit. You know when you open the door, it's gonna smell like weed. You been smoking weed, dummy. You been smoking weed, so you know it's gonna smell like weed. So if you open the door, you know they're gonna be on one. Oh, you know it smells like weed. We gotta search your house now. What? Nah. You know what I'm saying? But it's too late. You already opened the door. So you gotta think, especially if you out here doing street shit and all that. Y'all don't even be thinking. I mean, we don't know that's what that was, but I'm just saying, like, what could make a millionaire? I don't know. Was Young Scooter a millionaire? I'm not sure on that. Well, let's say a well-off person. What would make a well-off person run from the police? I wouldn't. I have my lawyer. If anything, I just wouldn't answer the door, and I have my lawyer. I'd have my lawyer talk to him right there at the door. I'd be like, hold on, let me call my lawyer. He want to talk to you. I'd do that. I just keep the door closed, call my lawyer, put my lawyer on speakerphone. Hey, my lawyer, he want to holler at you and shit. What you coming over here for again? The lawyer, he want to check on that. He want to see what you had going on with that, why you was even over here for. And then, because you got money, why you ain't got a lawyer? You should have a lawyer on call. If I'm a millionaire and I got all this money and all that, I got a lawyer right now, but I ain't got the money like that to where I can pay him just to be on call like that. But if I had the money like that, I'd drop my lawyer a bag, just yearly, just a hot $100,000 or something or whatever. Drop him a bag, and that way I can just call him or whatever. He work for me now. He on the payroll. I just goddamn me drop my bag, put him on payroll damn near pretty much. And I just be able to call my lawyer whenever. Because that's the way that they living, they need that. The way that you running from the police and you a millionaire or you got all this money and all that, I'm not running from no police. I'm finna, whatever they got trying to get me with or whatever, I'm finna bond out or whatever. I'm finna figure something out. I ain't running though. I got too much money to be running. If I'm running, I'm finna run to a whole other country. I'm not finna run out the back. I'm not running like that out the back door and no shit. I did that when I was a kid. I done ran from the police several times when I was a kid. I jumped a couple fences. I remember this one time. Matter of fact, I'll tell you the story about this time I ran from the police. And I had a job. They called me because my feet started bleeding. Because when I jumped out the car and started running, I had on house shoes. So I kicked the house shoes off, and I had on socks, but that's all I had on was socks. So I'm running from the law with the socks on. So the pavement is just steady eating the socks up. And then it eat a hole through there. So now I'm down there running on bare feet. And then that's how they end up catching me because my feet started bleeding. And then I stopped running. You know, I could have got away, but I stopped because my feet started bleeding. Because I had damn near got away from them. They just knew which way I went. So when I stopped, they caught up to me. But, that's some kid shit. We do that when we kids. We run from the police and all that. You know? And I mean, unless you just, you done committed, you a mass murder or something, then you probably might not want to check on, see what they talking about. So you might want to just shoot it out with them or whatever. But most case scenarios, if you a millionaire and all that, what are you doing? That's the part I want to know. Like, what was he doing to that degree where he felt like he needed to run from the police? He shouldn't have been doing none of that shit, whatever it was. I don't get why these niggas still want to be criminals. And rest in peace to that man. I don't want to make it sound like I'm talking bad on him or nothing like that. I'm just pointing out some shit for the rest of the young scooters out there that's got money and all this type of shit and still feel like they got to be a criminal and all that. Because that, to me, that was always the point, was like when I was in the streets and all that, to me, that was the whole point, was to get the money and then get out the streets and figure something else out and then start doing that. That was always like the plan. The plan was to get the money from the streets, take that money, figure something else out that ain't in the streets, use that to invest into the thing that ain't in the streets and build that up. So now you ain't even got to let the street stuff just slowly diminish out while you building up the unstreet thing. And then once the unstreet thing get to that level, boom, you ain't got to do the street shit no more at all. I thought that was the whole plan. When I was in the streets, to me, I thought that's what it was all about. But now it seems like these youngsters now, they get the bag and then they go into the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, y'all doing it in reverse. Like, nah, y'all got the bag. What's the point of the streets now? That's pointless once you got the bag. You only in the street doing that shit because you got stuff on your record. You can't get a good job. That's why you selling drugs and all that. You can't really get a good job. And the job that you can get, it don't pay enough. You got to make more than that. So that's the reason why niggas be selling drugs. Niggas don't just be doing that shit just dry. A lot of niggas be doing that shit because they got to do that shit. They be on child support kicking their ass. They taking half they check. So now they check ain't even enough to pay their bills. So they got to do something to increase the money. That's life. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't be really beating up no drug dealers and all that, because it ain't really like what y'all think. A lot of different niggas that's hustling like that. They not out here killing and doing all that shit. A lot of niggas is out here trying to pay their goddamn rent. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. If I had a bunch of money, even when I had my other little business going and it was making some decent money, I wasn't thinking about nothing street. I ain't even crossed my mind. When I'm broke, it crossed my mind. I ain't gonna lie, it do cross my mind. But when I was up, it don't even cross my mind. I'll be like, what? Nah, I got the legal money coming. What the fuck am I concerned about some street shit for? I don't give a fuck about that. I'm gonna always be a street nigga at heart, cause that's just how I was raised into that. Between the army and the street shit, I can't shake it. It's gonna always be a part of me. I always know how the shit. That's how I can report on it, cause I know how it move. But what I'm saying is, if I get to the bag, I'm not finna participate. You know what I'm saying? If I got a bag, what am I participating for? I don't get it. I'm shortcut. I'm leaving money on the table for my legal business. I'm over here spending time in the street doing the woo street shit. I got a legal, like if I'm a rapper, for example, that's a legal business. I can do shows whenever. I can make money. I can make $1,000 doing one show. Why in the fuck would I skip doing that to go hang out on the block with some niggas that don't give a fuck about me anyway? They just standing in front trying to get close to me, see what they can bribe me for or whatever. Why in the fuck would I don't get that. I would always be doing shit. If I'm a rapper, I would always be in the studio, always be doing. I couldn't even think of nothing else I would be doing. I'm either in the studio making a song, I'm either in some other city or state or whatever performing a song, or I'm fucking smoking cake or something, fucking some broad, creating a song. You see what I'm saying? I'm always in song mode though. I'm never going to want to even go to the hood to do anything. I got a mansion somewhere, ducked off somewhere in the country somewhere. It's not in my name, so it don't show up on nothing. It don't show. Can't nobody pull up my address. It ain't on nothing. You see what I'm saying? I'm off the motherfucking grid half-ass. If I'm making money like that, I'm not doing nothing where I'm running from the police. If I got a little weed, only thing that I might get me with a little weed, it might catch me a little weed or something. Worst case scenario. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm not gonna run from that. Fuck it. Give me the little ticket, whatever you gonna do with that. Okay, whatever. I eat that because I smoke weed. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I'm not doing nothing dangerous or nothing. I'm not doing nothing. For what? I'm in the lab with the pen and the pad trying to get the fucking label off. Shout out Dr. Dre. I'm not giving a fuck about the streets. What? Yeah, I'm rapping about the streets because I've been doing that. I got the right to rap about it. I'm the one who's doing it. So I don't mean I gotta fucking still do it. I'm just rapping about it now. I'm rapping about the shit I was doing before. And I'm not even glorifying it. I'm telling story. I'm telling y'all actual story. I'm just changing the names around and shit. I'm telling y'all actual stories and shit that happened. Or I'm alluding to them, all kind of different shit like that. But I'm telling stories. I'm not in the streets no more. I'm not actively doing nothing where I gotta actually run from the police and shit. That's what I'm saying. If you get in the bag, not even if you just get in the bag, you just got a good job, right? This message ain't even just for the people that's getting to the big bags and all that. If you just got you a good little job at Amazon or something, or whatever, you don't need to be doing nothing where you need to run from the police and shit. So if you really got the bag, that just make it worse. Like if you really got the bag, and you could be flipping real estate, you could be buying land, you could be making music that's setting up shows, you can make a hit. If you're in the studio every day, just do the numbers game. You making 10 songs a day every day. You smoking weed, you just wake up in the morning, start making songs, do that every day. Just by a simple numbers game, one of them motherfuckers gonna be a hit. Just a numbers game, just pure numbers game. Just call all the producers you know. Y'all know the big time producers. Hey man, all y'all niggas just send me some beats. I'm finna just lock the doors and be in the lab for 30 days. And just record every goddamn. That's how the artists that's big now that we all know and love, that's how they did it. Because they music catalog is extensive. Think about it. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson got 1 million albums, 1 million songs that we know and love. R. Kelly. Yeah, he's a weirdo, but he got 1 million songs that we all know and love. Jay-Z. He don't really fuck with us, but he got 1 million songs that we all know and love. All the people that got the catalogs that we love, they just went in the lab and closed the door and didn't fuck with nobody for a long time and recorded a whole bunch of music. And that's the music we still know and love. That's the hit. A lot of them songs didn't make it through. They made a bunch of songs. A lot of songs didn't make it. The ones that we heard, that we know, the ones that made them was the hits. They made it through. That's why Pac was so great. They say Pac used to record all goddamn day. Pac used to go in the studio and record all day. and just make song after song after song. They probably still got Pac. They probably still got some Pac songs that we ain't even heard before. That's what I would do if I was an artist. I wouldn't be doing no illegal, not super illegal, that I gotta run and all that. It wouldn't be on that tip illegal. Maybe little misdemeanor. I'm a misdemeanor nigga now. You know what I'm saying? I'm a misdemeanor criminal now. I'm not even really no misdemeanor criminal really, but I'm saying like if I do get into something, it's gonna be some misdemeanor shit. If I gotta do some felony shit, so be it. But I'm not on, like nah. I'm not running from the police and doing all that. Hey, what's happening, user? Oh, hold up. Don't say user. U37. What's happening, U37? U37 Bree. Nah, man, I was just paying a little respect to young Scooter, and I was trying to talk to the youngsters that was probably in a young Scooter type position. Because a lot of little youngsters getting to the bag now. So a lot of them got money and all that. You know what I'm saying? So they feel like they gotta get to the bag. Once they get to the bag, then they gotta go be criminals and all that. I feel like that's reversed. How you feel about that, U37 Bree? I feel like it's in reverse, man. I feel like get to the bag, get to the stocks, get to your money, man. Stop like catering to this matrix. I feel like that's what y'all catering to, is this y'all want to look a certain way, y'all gonna be a certain way. Back when I was in the rap game and all that and doing all that, it was all about authenticity. That's what it was all about. It was all about like who was sounding different, who came out from a whole different thing. Now it's like everybody just follow the leader. Okay, you drill rapping, okay, I'm gonna drill rap. Okay, you doing that, I'm gonna do. You dressing like this, I'm gonna dress like this. We're the people that start their own trends and do their own thing. Then the people that's gonna win. That's why we love the Michael Jacksons. Ain't nobody sound like Michael Jackson? It's a lot of people that sound like him now because they took parts of what he did. But what I'm saying is, when he came out, he was an authentic entertainer. There was no other artist that was a Michael Jackson. We was like, he kind of sound like Michael Jackson. No, there was no other Michael Jackson. There was only one Michael Jackson. You see what I'm saying? Now there's a lot of spawns from Michael Jackson now. It's like the Superman thing. You know how that Superman, when Superman died, had all like the little Superman spawns and shit. That's how it is with Michael Jackson. Now you got like Chris Brown, all the different little Superman, Michael Jackson spawns. You know what I'm saying? And they'll tell you. I'm not disrespecting them saying they'll all tell you that they Michael Jackson spawns. You know what I'm saying? That's not nothing bad to be a Michael Jackson spawn, because that's the king of the shit. But what I'm saying is, when Michael Jackson was winning and when everybody was winning in that era, it was because they was authentic. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't because they was trying to sound like the next motherfucker and all that. It was because they was authentic and they didn't sound like anybody else. When rap first came out, all the rappers, that was like, you couldn't sound like nobody else. You was lame if your shit sound like somebody else. You had to change it up. That's why all the older rappers, why it sounds so different. Every artist sounds so different. Like if you go back and listen to some of the rappers, like E40. Who sound like E40? Busta Rhymes. Who sound like Busta Rhymes? Twista. Who sound like Twista? Eazy-E. Who sound like, I think Eazy-E's son kind of sound like him maybe. But other than that, who sound like Eazy-E? MC Ren. Ice Cube. Ain't no other Ice Cube. Ain't nobody, still to this day, ain't nobody else came out sound like Ice Cube. You see what I'm saying? It was all about authenticity back in the game. Now it's like all about Who can be the best of one thing? That's kind of like what it's about now. Who's the best of this one? Let's all do this one thing and just see who the best of it is. That's kind of where it's at with it. And that one thing is drill rap. And drill rap is a problem. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. I'm gonna go ahead and be the one to say it. Drill rap is a problem. It's causing these youngsters to crash out. A lot of these youngsters ain't got the intellectual fortitude to know that this thing, that's a fucking facade. You ain't even got to be on none of that. You know what I'm saying? You can live a healthy life. You ain't got to be no gangster. You ain't got to be none of that. You can start your business when you young and build that bitch up. You can be rich by the time you grown. It's young people out here that's rich. It's kids out here that got businesses that's rich. So you can focus your time and attention on some shit. Lock in on whatever. Lock in on a thing. You can lock in on a thing, and by the time you get 18, 19, 20 or whatever, that thing will be something. Like even if you want to be a little a Twitch streamer, you start now. You 15, 16, I don't give a damn. They tell you, everybody talking shit about you being on the game. Oh, you always on the game. Don't even care they saying that. Because every time you get on there, you streaming. You building up your look, you building up your little audience, building up your following. You do that from 16 to 20. By the time you get 20, you gonna have a million people following you or something, or whatever, some big number. Now you got advertising done. Now you making money off of it. But you playing the game all the time anyway. So every time you get on there and play the game, stream it. Throw your mic on there. You talking crap to your friends and all that anyway. So you getting on there, you talking crap to your friends, you be playing the game all day anyway. Might as well stream it and let that add up. Your followers add up and all that. I'm just saying, it's a million different ways, things you can do to get money without being a gangster. You know what I'm saying? It's a billion different ways, and not only is it better, but you ain't got to worry about all that police shit. You ain't got to worry about all the police hunting you down and all this type of shit. Worst case scenario, like I said, you might get caught with some weed. Because even if you legal, most of the legal people smoke too. So, worst case scenario, you trying to be half-ass legal. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, man. I just felt like young Scooter probably shouldn't have been doing nothing where he felt like he need to run from the police. That's all. I felt like, and I know this is all like in hindsight because you can say anything after the fact. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, to all the other young Scooters out there, don't do nothing to run from the police. Because, it didn't even have to be the injury. The police could have shot him. And they would have too. Y'all know that. Act like y'all don't know that. Like if the police would have caught up with him, they might have even shot him then. So he could have died all kind of different types of ways in that little situation. So I would just say, don't be out here doing shit where you gotta run from the police. Shit, just straight up. Get to the bag, invest that money. You out the streets now. If you're a rapper, technically you out the streets. They still, you know what it is? They still think a rapper. They still think that's a street nigga. No, that's you an entrepreneur now. If you got a deal, you got a partnership deal, even if it's a 360 deal, well, they probably own you then. Don't sign no 360 deal. But if you got some type of partnership deal, you an entrepreneur now. You just partnered up with this mega company that can help push your stuff and help get you out there. But you an entrepreneur. You need to be out there doing the entrepreneur stuff. Figuring out other sources of income. Building your real estate portfolio. Get you a real estate portfolio. Getting your credit up. You should be doing all that. Fuck hanging out on the block. That shit ain't gonna produce nothing. Best case scenario, you make a little money on the block. You go to the block, you distribute some pounds. You the money man now. That's what they be wanting to be. They want to be the big dog. They got the money and all that. They want to buy the pounds and drop them off on the block. They want to be everybody looking at them like the big dog. I'm the big dog now, y'all. They just want to look like the big dog. You know what I'm saying? That shit gonna get your ass smoked. Trying to look like the big dog or get your ass running from the police and die or some crazy accident or some shit. Y'all need to stay out the goddamn block. Once you get that bag, I ain't saying fuck the block. I'm saying fuck the block. That's what I'm saying. That makes sense to everybody. I know everybody that's a gangster know what the fuck I just said. I'm not saying fuck the block. I'm saying fuck the block. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you didn't understand that, you ain't no gangster. That's what I'm saying. But, nah, man. Rest in peace to Scooter, man. Scooter was a cold rapper, too, made some real good music. A lot of them songs, I listen to them songs almost every day. I listen to Future and Scooter songs. Them like is in my playlist and shit. So I'm riding around listening to Scooter on a daily basis. But rest in peace to the God, man. You know, we all have our time. We ain't none of us are making it out of this thing alive. So just know that. You know, you got your time. I got my time. He had his time. It's Samadhi Media. I'm out.